Great. Right. So first question, I've got a general question to kind of lead us into it. It's just to ask you, how important are your friends or family as a source of advice?
Quite important. Friends that I seek advice from about things.
And is that true of, do you get their advice around health issues as well?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
And what is it you value about those friends?
Because I know that they're truthful to me, and it's one of those, if I want their opinion, we'll give their opinion. If I just want them to listen, if you know what I mean, they'll just listen. Yeah. And
is that true of health advice as well?
So what, sorry?
Is that also true with health advice?
Yes,
Do you have that?
Yeah.
So thinking about the screening, thinking about the smear test, is it something you talk about with friends?
Yes, yeah. We talk about all sorts.
Mm-hmm. And do you talk about, I don't know, whether each other have been for the screen? Do you talk about how it was?
Yeah, we do to it, yeah. Yeah. It's one of the, we're quite open, if you know what I mean, about everything.
Yeah. How important are other people's opinions of you then?
Quite important, because obviously you learn about different things through other people and what, you know, things that have happened to them and their opinions of things. And yeah, I do think it's important.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So when did you get your last invite letter?
The last what letter?
Your last invite letter. For the screen.
Oh, right, for the screening. Let me just, it was earlier on last year or just the back end of the year before.
Right, so kind of December, 16, January.
17, kind of. Yeah.
Right. And how do you find talking about the smear test? So you said you kind of talk about it with friends. How do you find talking about it?
I'm fine with talking about it. It doesn't really bother me.
Right. So if I was there and I said, right, okay, Claire, if you close your eyes and think of the first words that come into your mind when I say the words smear test.
Say that again. You broke up a little bit.
Sorry. So if I was there and I said, right, I want you to close your eyes and think of the first words that come into your head when I say the word smear test. What words come into your head?
Uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Can be worrying. Mm-hmm. You know, about the results afterwards.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of anything else. Nothing else really comes into my head.
Right. Okay.
I just hope the results are fine. That's all.
Is that when you kind of think about it? Is that your big consideration?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And what do you know about it? So, if someone was to ask you, what's the screen for? What would you say?
Cervical cancer. I know they obviously don't do STD checks when they're doing anything like that. It's obviously just to examine the cervix and obviously test the cells. And is it, I can't remember, is it HPV as well that they look into nowadays?
Right, the human papillomavirus, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
And so, okay, so you obviously, have you always gone for your screen?
Yes, I have, yes.
And have you ever missed one?
No.
So if you can, so the last time you got your letter, so going back to 2016-17, if you can remember. So the letter comes through the door, lands on the kind of floor. So can you just kind of talk me through kind of from when you get the letter to what happens next?
I just ring up the doctor straight. Obviously, I open the letter, see when it's convenient for me to go, and I just ring up the doctors and make an appointment with the nurse to go and get it done.
And how often does it normally take you to make the appointment? How long do you wait?
Within a couple of days, to be honest with you.
Right, so you pretty much do it. You make your appointment straight away.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And Go on, sorry.
The reason being is because I've had abnormal cells in the past.
Right.
So I don't hesitate anymore.
Right. And how easy is it for you to make an appointment?
Fairly easy, really.
Do you have to take time off work to do it?
No, because I work for myself. I just have a look in the appointment book and ring up and just say, when's the next available, I'm free such and such a day. Have you got any availabilities for an appointment with a nurse?
Right. So you kind of made your appointment, and then you do that fairly quickly. Then you go for the kind of screen, and I mean, it might seem like an odd question, but what's particularly easy about the screen, and what's particularly difficult, and what might you change about it?
I think the only difficult bit is obviously having to take your knickers off, if you know what I mean, in front of somebody else.
Right.
Easiness, it's obviously just being able to get an appointment. Mm-hmm. And what was the last one, the other thing that you wanted to?
Yeah, and you think, what would you change about it? So if you could change anything, what would you change?
Not really having to have it. That's the only thing I could change. But obviously, we've got to have it. Yeah.
So for you, you kind of, it's obviously something you regularly do. Why do you think cervical screening is a good thing for women to do?
Because obviously it can tell you whether or not you've got precancerous cells before it actually goes into cancer. Mm-hmm. And it's just, to me, it's just a health check of taking precautions before anything goes horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think women that sometimes don't do it?
I think more of embarrassment, like I said, about having to take your knickers off, and it is it's not painful, it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think that, and maybe they're scared that there is something there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's the idea in my eyes of going having the test done.
Yeah. So
it doesn't go into anything.
Yeah. And kind of amongst your friends, have you got a mixture of friends some don't go for it?
Sorry, you're breaking up again.
Sorry. So amongst your friends, do you have a mixture of some who do go for it and some who don't go for it?
No, I think majority go for it.
Right.
I think
that's good.
I think because it's nowadays, it's not a taboo subject to discuss, and I think obviously as well, with the Jade Goody situation a few years ago, I think it's made a lot more people aware of what could be prevented if these tests were done.
Right. Yeah. So if I put you in charge, or if I said, right, you're in charge now, Claire, you're in charge of cervical screening across Greater Manchester, and you have to try and get women to do it, how would you promote it, and how would you encourage other women to do it?
I would use the Jade Goody thing as an example. I mean, I know obviously she didn't have it done because of her age situation, which I do think is wrong, but I would just use that as like an example, and just make people aware that, granted, you're going for this, like the smear test, but the reason being is not because you could have full-blown cancer, but we can catch and laser anything away before it actually goes into, it's not as bad as what people think. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's always, I've always had females doing it, so females, looking at females' parts, and we've all got one at the end of the day. Yeah. And has your opinion of it, has your opinion towards it, has your opinion of the screen changed across the years? So as you've got older, has your attitude changed? Yes, it has, but I think that's because, like I said before, I've abnormal smears in the past and I've had 2 lots of treatment done.